It's lovely to see so many of you here at short notice and a cold, winter, rainy evening, but you made it. And also lovely to know that there are so many online. Looking around, I think most of you already practice meditation, but I imagine that there are many online who want to find out, well, why should I even bother to meditate? I have enough things to do on a daily basis. Do I need to add something more to that? Well, Matthew shared a few of the things that the UN has mentioned, but I want to mention one particular sentence from Dadi Janki. Many of you knew Dadi and loved her, and she continues to guide us in her angelic form. And she said, the greatest friendship of all is, can you guess? The friendship I have with my own mind. And she's actually taking those words from the Bhagavad Gita, which states that your mind can be your best friend, but also it can turn the other way. And so how do I make my mind my best friend? Just think about how you make friends. You get to know them, you have a chat with them, you spend time with them, and you cultivate a friendship that's then going to be there for you to benefit from and give benefit to. And so this is meditation, being able to have a dialogue with myself on that inner journey so that I get to know myself more and more. Do you still surprise yourself by your reactions sometimes? Probably you do. And that's because we haven't spent enough time knowing ourselves so deeply that we can predict how we're going to react in certain situations. And if I can get to know myself, then I can ensure that my responses are appropriate, my reactions come to an end, and the responses are going to be constructive and positive. Positive psychology was mentioned just a little while earlier, and definitely the role of meditation in creating positive thoughts and feelings which can enhance my own relationship with myself, but also can have a positive and beneficial impact on my physiology. All of that also happens through meditation. So if sometimes you feel a bit overwhelmed and you think, well, what can I do about this? The world is getting more and more crazy. How can I manage? Well, meditation is the answer. If sometimes I feel that even though things are so uncertain and volatile, can I actually come to a state where I can be comfortable and be anchored in peace within myself, so that even though the world becomes more and more crazy, I'm able to stay connected with myself and find that inner strength and capacity to deal with whatever life may bring to me. Relationships. We used to think that relationships lasted for years and years and years and years. And today that's very rarely the case. Relationships seem to come and go and move with the wind. But the relationship that I develop first with myself is the important one. But then further, if I come to that awareness of my own inner dignity, my own inner sense of security, then every relationship that I create outside is going to be a reflection of that. So there's going to be positive feelings and good wishes for all. When we meditate, we're not just meditating for ourselves, we're meditating for the world also. And yes, sometimes we have very specific meditations in which we are focusing on the planet, all the people on the planet, but also on nature and the effort to heal nature, doesn't just happen through watching my carbon footprint. That's of course important, but through vibrations of light, of love and peace. That's going to be the way that we can heal the world also. All of these things happen through meditation, but maybe the other big topic I want to mention. Some have a question about the existence of a divine, and some feel that yes, they know the divine, but would like to develop a deeper relationship with the divine. Well, whichever stage of that spectrum I'm at, time for silence, to go inside and reflect, and to be able to hear the silent voice from up above, that happens through meditation. And so the awakening in which I begin to experience the presence of the divine, and more than that, a journey in which I develop a relationship that becomes deeper and stronger and is always there and available for me to give me all that I need through the relationship with the One. That too comes about through meditation. So I know that meditation has many, many different aspects, and it's beautiful to see the world recognizing this and being able to come together. I know absolutely that it's going to be through the power of God's peace and God's love that we can transform ourselves so that all negativity can be removed and only the highest, purest qualities of the original self can emerge, not only in our inner experience, but also in our outer activity. But also, as we come together, the vibrations multiply, and those vibrations of God's light and love will bring about peace on earth for sure. We sing about a time when we can have peace in the world, but this is the actual method, and it's beautiful that it's being acknowledged and recognized. I think it was at the end of the 60s that the word meditation again re-entered our vocabulary, but it was still something at the fringe. But gradually through the years, now today, the official recognition by governments, yes, that it is the power of meditation that can lead to peace. So we've come a long way, and I think there's only just a very short step further to coming to that state where truly there can be peace on earth. But it starts with peace in our hearts and our minds. And so we'll be sitting together, and yes, there'll be the commentaries and the silence, but there'll be another thing that's unusual. I noticed that a few of you raised your hands that you were here for the first time. When you walk into a place and you see a group of people sitting quietly with their eyes closed, you immediately think, yes, they're meditating. But if you come into a room and you see people with their eyes wide open, it doesn't necessarily strike you that they're meditators. I think Brahma Kumaris must be one of the few groups that actually meditates with eyes open. And there's a very good reason for this. It is so that meditation is incorporated into my daily activity. So now as I talk, it can be in a higher state of meditation consciousness. When I walk, and I need to keep my eyes open to do that, again, I can meditate as I walk. So if I practice meditation with eyes open, it means I'm planting that seed which I can carry away with myself and continue to have that higher consciousness through all the other things that I'm engaged in. And the second thing is that when we sit together as a gathering, then eyes open meditation is a wonderful opportunity to share what we call drishti. the translation of that just simply vision. But it means in this context, the vision of the awareness of the self, the soul, and the recognition of the divine. And so when I look at you, I'm not just seeing you, but between you and me is that being of light, the Supreme. And so we are sharing those vibrations of God's light and love. And if you prefer to see the image of the point of light, that image will be there also. Maybe that's more comfortable for you. But experiment with eyes open meditation. It'll feel a little uncomfortable at first maybe, but it's definitely worth persevering and developing this practice. So let's fly with our consciousness to the land of silence, the home of the Supreme. Thank you. Om Shanti. So before we start our inner journey of meditation, let's allow ourselves to relax, bring our bodies to a state of comfortable stillness. Perhaps you need to just shake your head a little, or just make sure that you're sitting comfortably and yet alert. And yes, rest your eyes on one of the yogis facing you, and just have that vision of the soul, the being of light that is behind the face, behind the body. And this realization, this understanding that I'm not my face and I'm not my body, is really the first and most important insight and understanding and experience that we have. And so I, the soul, that point of light in the middle of my forehead, just between my eyes, I can't see it, but I know that I am looking through the windows of my eyes out into the world, and I'm hearing sounds, and I'm not my eyes, and I'm not my ears. I have this body, this costume that I wear temporarily in order to experience life and express myself in life. But I'm not just limited, I'm not defined by my body or confined by my body. I am separate, independent, and I, the soul, am eternal. My body goes through all sorts of stages. It can be well or not well. It can be small or large. It can be young or old. But I, the soul, am an eternal being of light, consciousness, energy. And
so, what is it that makes me who I really am? If it's not my face and it's not my story or my personality, what makes me me? And for each and every one of us, it is the qualities, the eternal qualities that we have inside ourselves. Peace, love, joy, purity, wisdom. These are what make me who I am. These are my greatest treasures, my greatest wealth. And perhaps until now, I've been searching for love. I've been yearning for peace. I've been seeking happiness. And I've desperately been working hard to find wisdom. Not realizing that I am peace. I am love. I am wisdom. All of these qualities are within me. But I just have to tap into them. I have to realize them and make them real in my life. So in meditation, I allow myself to step back from the identity of the physical, of what I look like, what I do, where I live. I step back from that. And I go much deeper. I go deeper even than my thoughts and feelings. I go to the core of my whole being, where I find these treasures, this wealth of mine. And in the awareness and the experience of these qualities, of my own peace and love and happiness, then I can start to connect, to resonate with the highest soul, the supreme soul, the divine. I am not the divine, but I have qualities from the divine. And in the company of the divine, in that experience of feeling close to my eternal parent, to the one above, those qualities of mine are refreshed, re-energized. And I start to feel myself becoming full and content and peaceful inside. I know who I am really. I know the value of the qualities that I have inside me, that each and every one has inside them. And meditation is when I remind myself, I remember these beautiful qualities. And in remembering that connection, that company, that companionship with God, with the Supreme Soul. That's when I fill myself up again. I make myself free and light. And I find myself just seeing and feeling everything in a very different way. Because in that awareness of I, the soul, that eternal point of light, connected with the Supreme, with the highest, most beautiful consciousness, most beautiful soul. It's like I feel waves of love coming over me. Waves of peace. Waves of compassion and encouragement. Giving me strength and hope in myself. Allowing me to feel compassion. Allowing me to experience my own inner dignity. And so as I sit in silence, taking in the richness and the power of that silence, I feel myself very close to God, to the Supreme. I feel that I'm no longer alone, struggling to understand or sort things out. In God's company, with God's love and light, I become something quite different. I become who I really am. A being of peace, and love, and wisdom. A being of beauty, a being of goodness. And each and every one of us can create these feelings for ourselves, can develop this relationship with the One above. And in doing so, create vibrations in our minds first of all, but then vibrations that spread into the room as they are doing now, and further afield, out into the world. Simply with my thoughts, with my vibrations, I'm giving a most valuable contribution of peace and love to a world that very much needs it. And there is a saying, charity begins at home. And we all love to give. We love to care. We love to do things that help people. But it all starts at home. It starts with the self. So when I, in that experience and with those lovely feelings that come, when I'm in that consciousness of being a soul, a beautiful soul, a powerful soul, then I'm able to share those feelings, share those vibrations, share that positivity with those around me. And so meditation, you could say, is a loving conversation with myself. A conversation in which the friendship is becoming deeper. And with any friendship, it's about knowing each other and understanding each other better. So in my conversations with myself, let me be curious. Let me rediscover the me inside, the inner being. Let me explore the treasures and play with them and use them and be grateful for them. And let me feel the benevolent company, the one who watches over me, who reminds me of my own goodness, my own value, my own potential. So let me stay in the company of the one who has such a high vision for me, such a benevolent vision. And the more I do that, the more my vision for others will be one of understanding, benevolence, compassion, and friendship. So meditation is the biggest adventure of my life. It's the greatest exploration. Going inside, observing my thoughts and feelings, and choosing to create and sustain the thoughts and feelings that are going to bring me up and make me stronger. And letting go of those thoughts and feelings that do the opposite, that make me weaker. So I choose in meditation to uplift myself, to encourage myself, to understand myself, and to come to like myself. So now let's spend a few minutes in this rich silence that we are creating together. just exploring the words that have been shared so far today. And perhaps there's something that particularly touched you, or that you're particularly curious about. Allow yourself to follow that thought. And while you do that, just observe your thinking, but also your feelings. So let's just enjoy some silence together. So coming back and continuing our journey, let's remind ourselves again in our mind's eye of that point of light in the middle of the forehead, as powerful as a laser beam, but infinitesimal. And that this is who I am. I am a being of peace. A being of wisdom. A being of power. I'm beginning to realize and feel this, that this is who I am. And so, what do I want to do with all this peace and all this wisdom and all this power? I don't want to just hoard it inside. But let me naturally, humbly, quietly share it with everyone around. And there are so many in the world now who need peace, who need our love and compassion and our thoughts of encouragement. And so perhaps in this final part of the meditation, we can use our thoughts in perhaps a way that we don't always do. Realize how powerful our thoughts are in sending good wishes, sending love, sending peace to wherever it's most needed. And they say of charity that it's not giving what you want to give, but it's giving what's most needed. And what's most needed now in the world is peace. Our thoughts of love and compassion that allow us to see what brings us together, what we have in common, and not what separates us and divides us and categorizes us. And in that awareness of myself as a soul, and each and every one as a soul, then those differences just disappear. And we realize that we, each of us, wearing our own costumes, playing our own parts, and nobody else can play. But each one, behind the costume, behind the part, is a soul and a child of God. A child of the Supreme Soul. And so let us send our thoughts of peace and perhaps you have a place or a person or a community in mind where you would like to send these thoughts right now. So just offer them. And then let go. no expectation, no feeling that I am giving, just sharing what I've been given, what I'm so grateful for, and what I have the responsibility to use in a way that's beneficial. And so keep sending those thoughts of peace and love to where they're needed, to who needs them right now. And then, of course, it's not just people, but it's nature itself. It's all the 5 elements that are in so much upheaval in different places of the world. Floods and fires and earthquakes, and so many things happening that are unexpected and causing a lot of distress. But can we recognize and use the power of our own thoughts to send peace to nature and to the elements and to our beleaguered earth as well? Knowing that all thoughts have an impact. My consciousness has an impact on matter. And with my thoughts, I have the ability to comfort, to relieve, to appreciate. So that I become a true friend of nature, a true friend of the earth, by fulfilling my responsibility to take care of it, to cherish it, and to value it. And so on this first World Meditation Day, let us recognize and appreciate the value of this time we've spent together and the beautiful atmosphere we've created together. And of course, this is happening all around the world, in different places, different gatherings, different faith communities. And how beautiful that we've come together today to unite our minds, our feelings and hearts. And maybe, who knows, we can unite nations if we continue to do this, each of us individually and collectively. Just making time for peace, making time to know myself. Charity begins at home. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Very peaceful vibrations in the room. Everybody feeling that? And online I hope too, wherever you may be watching from. So just trying to gently bring you back into sound, because I have a few announcements. So you don't have to remember all of this information we're going to show you. You know, the reason we're showing you this is so that you can you know how to and where to tap into more experiences, and also to learn meditation. I know a few of you are here for the first time. I'm sure online from all over the world people are tuning in. And you know, just to share from the heart, because I've been doing this, practicing meditation 21 years, and I have a very strong contrast of before and after, and it's the most valuable thing that I've ever come across to learn and practice. And you know, I was thinking, I have a lot of conversations with regular students here, and one of the things I hear the most is, and a lot of the students here, we're all volunteers, but many of us also have jobs outside. A lot have families, so all the responsibilities of daily life. And what I hear the most, I think, in terms of comments is, you know, I don't know how people out there can manage without the practice of Raja Yoga meditation. So from the heart, if you haven't explored the meditation yet, all the courses globally are free of charge. And so maybe 2025 is the year to invest time in the course, because it's free, free of charge. And here at Global Corporation House, there's a few things on the screen there. There's the meditation for world peace, which we have on the third Sunday of every month. We've been having that practice globally for decades now. And you'll see there's various courses available, but you can check all of this out online. So you can either visit globalcorporationhouse.org, or if you're tuning in from around the world, then you've probably already come across the websites, but brahmakumaris.org or brahmakumaris.uk. And anyone who's here that wants to find out more, you're welcome to talk to any of us after the program. Talk to the ushers, talk to the receptionist to find out more, or you can also go online. So, thank you very much to Sister Jayanti for being with us this evening, and for the other yogis that joined her on stage. So Sisters Isabella and Paulina and Miguel and Biru. And a big thank you to all of you for being with us this evening. We aren't going to let you go without a little gift. So we have these lovely little sweets that we give out that are made in meditation, called toli. So one of the practices is that when we prepare any food or eat any food, is to do it in a state of meditation, connecting with that peaceful vibration. So those vibrations go into whatever we prepare and whatever we consume. So we'll be sharing a lovely little sweet. It is vegan, and it does have nuts in it, so just in case there's anyone with nut allergies. And for those online, we'll share the vibrations of these sweets. Sweet vibrations. And also a blessing card. So a blessing card that has some beautiful words on that you can reflect on for yourself, maybe use them as a meditation reflection. So I think Sister Jayanti will be giving out the tolis and blessings. So I think the ushers will guide you to come up.